So you want to get those sweet shots for your B-roll, but don't have the money to cough up for a motorized slider. Well, today I'm gonna show you how I made one. What's up guys, Will with F1 Tech here. So I've been browsing the internet looking for a slider that I can use for my B-rolls. However, I couldn't just believe the prices for these things, especially if you want to get it motorized. So I figured, why not just make one myself? So I took bits and pieces of ideas from other YouTubers. So for the design of the slide bar itself, I took the idea of Rideable Entertainment. I'll post a link to his YouTube channel down below, and you can see the design that he created for his motorized slider. I took pretty much the design for the ends and the pipe, but for the slider itself I kind of just made my own idea of how I wanted it to work out. Now to make it motorized, I went a different way. I used a 12-volt DC motor and some micro switches, so when the slider hits it, it'll automatically reverse its position and go the other way. I also used a PWM circuit with a control switch that will allow me to adjust the speed. I'm gonna show you how to do all that. With that said, let's get with this tutorial. So, to start off, we are going to need a few items from your local hardware store, along with a few items we need to grab from Amazon. First thing on our list is 3/4 inch plywood. This will be used to make the stands for the slider and for the slider base which holds the camera. Next, we will need 3/4 inch copper tubing. I decided to go with copper because using conduits will make the rig a bit heavy. However, if weight isn't an issue, using conduits or steel pipe will work too. Now this piece is optional. You can either clean the copper pipe and use a metal lacquer to get a nice finish on it, a nice little shine, or wrap the pipe in whatever color vinyl wrap of your choosing. For this project, I'm going to use a chrome wrap. Now to get the slider motorized, we are going to need a 12-volt DC motor, a PWM speed controller. I got mine with a forward reverse switch as a backup to the micro switches. We'll need a relay switch, power supply, a 5mm bore 20 teeth timing belt pulley, a timing belt pulley with ball bearings, a timing belt, 4 8x40 by 20mm U-type groove pulley with bearings, and a tripod monopod quick release plate for the camera. So for the base which will hold the slide bars in place, I took the measurements from Rideable Entertainment's tutorial, which you will be able to find on his YouTube video that I will leave in the description below. To cut the pieces I needed, I used a Dremel. Make sure you wear the proper safety equipment when using power tools such as these. And in case you're wondering, those are prototype Class A construction pajamas. I sanded the edges to provide a smooth finish and touch up on any imperfections. Now we want to cut 2 holes for the pipe to sit in without penetrating the wood. I used a self-fed 1.25" wood bit for this. This provided a way to make a smooth, evened out hole. Now what we want to do is mark out the copper pipe to fit a 3/8 rod through it. This will be bolted down along with the wood base to sandwich the two together and provide a solid base. It is important to try and be as accurate as possible when drilling these holes. We don't want any misalignments. Now to pretty this bad boy up. I grabbed some wood stain I had laying around and decided to use it on this slider. I only had to use 1 coat. Afterwards, I sprayed some clear coat to protect the paint. The overall finish came out great. Moving along, what I did for the base of the gliding mechanism, it started out as just a rectangular base. However, I thought adding some curves to this baby would make it look more appealing. I planned on using the curved corners as the placement of the roller wheels. I marked out 4 holes the width of the outside diameter of the slide bars. For one side of the slider wheels, I made the holes of the base a bit wider so that I can adjust the wheels once mounted onto the slide bar, make it easier installation. Let's mount the wheels now. This was a fairly simple process. Just install the wheels with some nuts. To secure it, I used 1/4-inch lock nuts at the end of each wheel. So let's talk about the motor. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on how to wire this up. Mooney B123 has a great video showing how to do this and provides a great, easy to understand diagram. I'll leave a link to his video on the description down below. What I am going to show you is how I will be mounting it. For the DC motor, I bored a hole on the top wood bracing. This is where the motor will sit. The 20 teeth pulley will go on the bottom and will be tightened by an Allen screw. Moving on to the back of the side panel, I mounted the speed controller along with a forward reverse switch. The switch is there in case I wanted to change directions prior to the camera glider hitting the micro switch. The controller and switch are connected to the PWM board. From there, I have 2 wires that come from the PWM and into a power relay. Here is where the magic happens. The relay is what controls the direction the cam glider will be going once it hits a micro switch. From there, we have the PWM, relay, and motor attached to a power supply. I used a 30 watt waterproof LED transformer to power this thing. You don't have to go this route. If you wanted to be more mobile, you could connect a 9-volt battery as your power supply. I mounted the micro switches at each end of the slider using a couple of nails. So the timing belt is attached to another 20 teeth pulley, however this one has 2 bearings on it so it can easily spin while mounted with some nuts and bolts. For the camera glider, I've attached a tripod quick connect monopod. Also, since the glider is higher than the micro switch, I'll be screwing down a piece of plywood to act as an extension to activate the switch. Now I had to figure out how I was going to attach all of these circuits to something without having it just hang around. Plus I have a pretty decent sized power supply that can't just hang out there. I looked around the garage and found this C-channel you can get at your local hardware store. I painted it black for aesthetics, and this will be mounted pretty much at the bottom of the glider, and it will be where I attach all the circuitry items. So let's start putting all of this together now. Alright, now that everything's together, let's see how everything runs, shall we? So far, I'm pleased on the outcome of the glide cam. The motion is smooth at low RPMs. My dog Buddy isn't sure what to make of it, but hey, who can resist that beautiful mug? Now let's see a side-by-side. As you can see, the camera glider is about to hit the micro switch, in which it will change directions and start heading towards the left. Buttery smooth, baby. Finally, we have the controller set to full speed at 20 RPMs. We still have a pretty smooth transition with no heavy shakes or jerking. Overall, I would say this was a successful project. Well guys, there you have it. Let me know what you thought about this project on the comment section down below. If you liked the video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. If you didn't, go ahead and give a thumbs down. Looking at this at hindsight, there's probably a couple amount of changes I'm going to do later on. I'm probably going to put a different tripod or monopod on top, one that's adjustable so I can pan the camera. And second, I'm probably going to switch up the motor to maybe a 50 RPM, something that can go just a little bit faster. 20 RPMs is fine, but you know, sometimes I want to get a quicker shot than what is provided. I'm probably going to just do some finishing touches, pretty up a little bit more. I want to get some putty on the sides, or filling in the cracks of the side panels. So little minor details, but overall I'm quite happy. Again guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.